Hi, I'm Sam and welcome back to the channel. This is the Crafty Blinder van build, and today we're building a seat that can be converted into a single bed with plenty of storage underneath. When you're designing your van layout, it'll become apparent very early on that space is of a premium and you must have multiple uses for each area. So this area, I want to have a seat here that also can be converted along with the front seat into a bed, and for me that's the best use of this area. I also want to utilise underneath the seat to take my ducting through for my heating and provide a dry storage area for possibly dry goods, bedding, clothing, winter coats, whatever. Basically a space that can be utilised for anything. To save time, I got all my toys out, set them all up and basically started a production line. With the measurements that I'd taken earlier, I did a bit of a cut list and just started chopping through the timber to get all the parts that I needed. So when I was sketching out my design, I decided to pitch the front of the storage area. I didn't want it to be squared off. I thought it would look boring and just plain. So what I've done is I've angled it forward a few degrees, and this is me just trimming off the bottom, so when I screw the front panel on, it sits nice and flush with the wood. Something I think you should consider as well, when you're buying tools, you know, for me they've got to have a purpose, and this table saw is probably one of the biggest white elephants I've ever bought. You know, I went out there thinking I'm going to use this for cutting so much, and in reality this is probably one of the only times I used it. It's still sat in my garage and it's seen very little actions. So if there's any out there want a cheap table saw, give me a shout. As I was measuring up and when I decided on the final dimensions of this seating unit, I put a few marks on the floor. So once I'd made the frame, it was just a matter of installing it, putting it in place and screwing it down. There was no remeasuring to do. However, something I would recommend is that you check for trueness and check for square, and also check your measurements as you go along. Don't wait to the end and then get your tape measure out and go, oh, it's too big, it's out of square, it's not true. Just keep doing it as you go along. The screws I'm using here are long enough to go through the timber and not the furniture board. They'll go into the furniture board about 10-12 mil, but they won't protrude on the other side, and that was me just checking, just making sure, a bit of reassurance. And again the tape measure's out, and I'm just checking for reassurance again that the marks on the floor are giving me the dimensions that I want. It pays to be frugal as well, you know. When you're cutting your panels up, try and get as much as you can out of them. These are expensive boards. So this is a piece of offcut from one of the side panels, and I've trimmed the end off to fit in the gap. Curiosity got the better of me and I just wanted to see what it looked like. I decided for the back part of the frame I wasn't going to build a standalone unit. So what I've done is I've just screwed it directly into the bodywork and floor and the timber panels at the back. Put a couple of supports in to take the weight when it's being used, and this works fine. when it came to installing this support, I had to step it back because this is where my heater duct dips behind the shower panels, and I've also got a conduit that comes in at low level that goes from the bottom to the top lockers. Stepping it back from the corner isn't going to cause us any problems. There's quite a lot of metal in this area, so finding a fixing isn't an issue, and we're going to add a few more supports to tie it all together. Now these are going to be the main load bearing supports, so they're tying to the front of the frame and the back, and we're also going to screw it into the furniture board for the shower, and this will just help carry the weight. There's a couple more additional supports to go in the front, and then we're done. So the framing's now finished. I'm really quite substantial because I'm not lightweight, so it is. The following day we'll right back into it, taking measurements for the seat base. This piece of board is another offcut from the overhead locker, so these are all little bits that I've saved and they've come in handy. Once I was happy with how everything looked and lined up, it was time to trim this piece to the right size and fit it. Start a pre-drilled and countersunk each hole, and then this stops the wood from splitting, and to be honest with you, it gives you a better grip when you've got the screws in. I'm using the same length screws as I did for the side supports. These will go through the timber but not come out the other side of the furniture board, so just perfect length. If you find that when you screw the boards up there's a bit of a gap, you can use these clamps. They're like an extra pair of hands. They'll hold the timber in place while you can operate and hold the drill. You end up with a much nicer finish. Right, let's get this back support in for the hinges. utilised down there. Put the screw in. We're going to put the piano hinge in. Also adds a bit of support here for the main board. It shouldn't bow. 12mm ply board. Good at that, I think. Charger. Let's see what it's like. I'm using spacers to replicate the gap that's going to be produced by the hinge, and this is pushing the rear panel back as far as it needs to go. It's then just a matter of securing that panel before attaching the hinge. Starting to come together. I ended up having to buy 2 hinges as I couldn't get one that would do the job. It's a matter of then cutting the end piece, end panel, routering it, trimming it up and sticking it in place. But then the weather come. So I'm trying to finish off the storage area under the seating. Made the end panel there, just trying to get it all finished off, but this weather is threatening, so we can't have anything set up because I think it's just going to absolutely let go in a minute. Wow, that's weird thunder that. Sounds like someone dragging something heavy across the top of you. I'm hoping it's going to miss us. It might just clear the air enough to see it crack down with the van. Because I tell you what, this last few days it's been so muggy, so hot. We're getting a bit of wind now. Yeah, feel the wind picking up. Chances are we've got some rain coming in. he comes. Dolly, Dexter in the house, come on. What? Oh. I think this rain will take care of that though. Here it comes. Ooh. Looks like hailstone. Oh yeah, bit of hail in that. Thought it was going to miss us, but there you go. Look at this. Oh, that's proper. Look at it bouncing off the roof over there. Hey, there's no plant watering getting done today, or grass cutting anyway. I'm shutting it. Huh? Yeah, I'm recording it. This is bad. Rained off. Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse, look. I've swimming pool before. Oh, good floods already. Streets flooded already, Liz. The sun's back in the sky. No. Well, it's a bit cloudy, but looks a much better day than yesterday. So today we're gonna push on. I think try and get this seat unit done. Contacted somebody last night about upholstering the front seats and the bench seat I made yesterday. That's a job I can't do. I need to speak to my brother about doing it as well. So it just mod it. That's something they're branching out into as well. Need to let him have a look at it, see if he can facilitate what I want. What else are we going to do today? Oh yeah, we're going to fit the toilet. So a couple of jobs to do on the toilet first, but we'll get it fitted and that'll do. School run now. So yeah, we're trying to push this along, this area here, because we're going to the upholsterers on Friday morning. It's now Wednesday. I've got a number of jobs that I want finished, this being one of them. So the last little things I need to do is put the hand holes in so we can open the storage unit, and sort the screws out for the piano hinge, 12mm ply, and unfortunately 16mm screws. So if I put them all the way through, they're just going to screw the lid to the frame. So right, let's get on, get this done. and I think you'll agree the effort was all worth it in the end. This seat's turned out stunning, it's really comfortable and gives us a full-size single bed. Well, thanks for watching again, hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, give us a shout. If you're enjoying what we're doing, please click the like buttons, send us any comments you've got, and consider subscribing. You know, we're a little channel, but we're getting a few followers now. So thanks very much for watching, we'll see you again.